Yes, mates, how's it going? My name's Lee, and welcome back to the FPL Punk YouTube channel, where we try to dominate FPL one game week at a time. So today I will do a recap on my current progress in game week 12, and then we'll take a look at my early team selection for game week 13 and the reasons behind my current selection. Finally, I will discuss who is the best captain for game week 13 and talk about some of my transfer targets throughout. If you enjoy FPL content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, drop a comment down below and tell me who you plan to captain in game week 13. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
Get strong.
Right, mate, so far in game week 12, I've got 78 points and my rank's gone up to about 22k. My game week rank is about just over 500,000 and I've got a total points of 787. I picked the best goalkeeper for my team, so I went Flecken over Verbruggen. Flecken got the 9-pointer, and I also had his teammate Vandenberg in defence, who also got the 6-pointer. Last week I went Trent to Gabriel, which obviously Gabriel and Arsenal got the clean sheet, so I got the 6 points there. 8-0 with the 2-pointer is what it is. Like, I thought Wolves played really well from an attacking point of view, and that's what 8-0 is there for. Like, they're not going to keep a lot of clean sheets. Palmer with a disappointing 2-pointer, and Boomer with the 3-pointer, who is just not playing well and out of form right now, but we all know good he can be. I've still got Bruno to play Ipswich, so hopefully I'm recording this just before the Man United game and after the Liverpool game, and that's the reason why Salah's points are in there. So I got 14 points, he got 2 goals, he got a penalty as well. It didn't play particularly well. Got a really kind of, not like a lucky goal, but it kind of ball over the top, kind of takes a touch, keeper's in no man's land, and it just trickles in. Get a penalty, scores 2 goals. Max bonus, takes his top off, gets booked, is what it is, you know. Really happy because it's like I picked the right captain for the week. Still got Isak to play on Monday against West Ham, which I think is a really good game for Isak. I did play Chris Wood, and unfortunately he was on the bench versus Arsenal, but I had that kind of Nottingham Forest attacker versus Arsenal defender, so didn't really matter either way. I think those scores would have kind of aggregated out. So like if Wood would have scored like a goal or so, then Gabriel would have got 2-pointer, Wood would have got 6-7 points. So I think it kind of evened itself out. And then Cunha with a massive 16-pointer scored 2 really nice goals. His second goal in particular, like he gets played to him edge of the box, and he just kind of first time whips it across a far post, like classic FIFA finesse kind of goal. Like really nice goal. But overall, really happy with my team. Another green hour. I went from about 45k to 22k. Still got a couple of players left to play, so I hopefully break into the top 20k. And let's take a look at my early team selection for game week 13. So this is my early team selection for game week 13. I've got a team value of 102 million with 0.2 in the bank and 1 free transfer. I have opted for Verbruggen over Flecken in goal. I think Southampton is probably the better fixture. And the reason why I don't want Flecken is that I don't want to double up on the Brentford defence when I don't think they've been great all season. I know they kept a clean sheet just gone, but like it's the first one all season. Like I would rather back the better team in Brighton and back the better goalkeeper in Verbruggen. Only 4.5 million, 2.5% owned. That's a pretty close call, and I might get this one wrong, but I'm just gonna stick with it. And I think Verbruggen's got the better fixture, so he's the one I'm going to play. I have kept Joachim Anderson and Rico Lewis on the bench. Both got really tough games. As you can see, all my defenders have got what FPL considers a green fixture, so like an easier fixture. And I've still got Eze on the bench there as well. Like I don't see the point in wasting a transfer on Eze right now, when I think my team looks okay for this week. So moving on to the Arsenal defender, Gabriel, 6.1 million, 23.7% owned. Absolute monster, just kept a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest. West Ham away coming up with Man United, Fulham, Everton and Crystal Palace in the next 5. And also I've got a decent kind of short to medium fixture run now. More than happy playing in this, and I think Arsenal are going to keep a lot of clean sheets between now and the end of the season. I can see maybe something around 50% of the time they're going to keep a clean sheet, so more than happy playing Gabriel. Like, we know how good he can be from set pieces as well. So like he will continue to chip in with the goals between now and the end of the season. More than happy playing him. I think he's an absolute monster. Really glad I bought him. And I think if you don't own him, I think you should think about bringing an Arsenal defender in. I would opt for Gabriel over the likes of Saliba, just because you've got that attacking output, but really happy playing Gabriel in this, and I think I could play him for the foreseeable future. Vandenberg, I don't really like playing him. I know they kept a clean sheet just gone. Leicester at home, I think it's a good fixture for him, and he does pop up with a decent amount of XG every now and again. There's been 4 or 5 games this season where he's got something like 0.15 to 0.2 XG, so I think he might be due a goal, and this might be the game. And if he does, like, he could be in for a 15-pointer there. But yeah, like, definitely going to play Vandenberg over the likes of Joachim Anderson and Rico Lewis. and ain't Nora is avoided his 5th yellow card yet again somehow. So we've got Bournemouth at home this week, a really nice fixture once again, and I'm more than happy playing him. Like, he's so attacking. They're not great defensively, like they're not going to keep a lot of clean sheets, but he's just so attacking that I think he's due another attacking return anytime soon. Overall, pretty happy with my goalkeeping defense. 3 of my players play against newly promoted teams, so that's always a bonus. Let's take a look at the midfield. Next up, we've got the midfield, and first up, we've got Cole Palmer at home to Aston Villa, and a very, very strong case for him to be captain for Game Week 13, and we'll look at captains later on as well. But after Aston Villa, he's got the likes of Southampton, Spurs, Brentford, and Everton after that. He's just so good, and I know he's not getting the goal involvements and the kind of stats and the goals and assists right now, but he looks so classy right now that I think it's just so hard to kind of drop him or even sell him. It might be tempting to take him sideways to like a Saka, and I kind of get that, like if that's something you want to do, but you've got to look at Chelsea's long-term fixtures, and you've got to want him back eventually, so there's no point taking him out. There's no point wasting 2 transfers to bring the same player back in. So for me, keeping Cole Palmer, it's an absolute beast, and there's just no reason to sell him. Bruno Fernandes has been in great form, got Everton at home, another really nice fixture as well. It's like it'd be interesting to see how Bruno sets up, and they're playing Ipswich in about 15 minutes. So we'll see how Bruno plays, we'll see how Amrin sets up. I don't know how he is going to set up right now, like whether it's going to be a 3-4-2-1 or a 4-2-3-1. I could be quite interesting to kind of see where Bruno does lie, and what kind of position that he does get into. But I think if he can get back to the old Bruno and start getting more involved from attacking point of view, or maybe not even that point, if our strikers can actually start finishing some chances that Bruno creates, then Bruno could be an absolute monster. He has got a quite tough run of 3 games of Arsenal away, Nottingham Forest at home, and Man City away after the Everton game. But then after that point, they've got it starts with Bournemouth at home, and they've got a nice few games after that as well. So I think if you don't own Bruno now, I'd probably wait until the Bournemouth game and start thinking about bringing him in then, and that would give you time to kind of look at the way Amrin sets up and the way Bruno's playing, and then you can kind of reassess and make a decision from there. Onto Brian Mbeumo, 7.9 million, 41.1% owned. He's been an absolute beast this season, playing really, really well. Dropped off the last 3 or 4 games, but that's always going to happen when you set the bar so high, and you're not like a Salah or like a Haaland, so you can't stay at that highest level all the time. Like you are going to drop off slightly. I think he will get back to his best up against Leicester at home, but then like Brentford do have a relatively tough run, starting at Aston Villa away, followed by Newcastle at home, Chelsea away, and then Nottingham Forest at home as well. We've got a couple tough games after that as well, so I won't even hate if people want to sell Mbeumo after this game. It might be a case for me, especially, that I might just want to keep him. I think he's such a great asset, and he has been so good over the start of the season that he might be able to carry that form over into the more difficult games. So for me, keep him right now, see how he does against the likes of Villa and Newcastle. Assuming I don't want to do anything drastic and try and force certain players in, just be patient, take it slow, and then see how he does over those first few games, and then kind of reassess it from there. On to Mo Salah, and the guy's just an absolute machine. Scored 2 goals again today. Didn't play particularly well, but I don't think he needs to play well when he's in such good form. Like everything seems to be paying off for him. Man City at home, not a great fixture, but he does have a decent previous record against Man City. So I wouldn't mind playing him in this game at all. Even if you wanted to buy Salah, I don't think there's any game where you can't go out and buy Salah for any single game week, and that includes Man City at home. I think they've got some good games after this as well. So they've got Newcastle away, Everton away, Bournemouth at home, and then Spurs away. I don't think it matters at all from an attacking point of view. I think Liverpool will do well in this from an attacking point of view in the majority of games. So yeah, for me, it doesn't really matter with Salah. He's basically a plug and play. Play him every single week. He's an absolute beast, and he's just going to keep doing what he's doing, and that's getting goal returns and just keep getting FPL points, because that's what he does. Let's move on to the forwards. Last but not least, we've got the forwards, and first up, we've got Matthias Cunha, 6.9 million forward for Wolves, 13.4% owned, and Wolves have got a really, really nice run of about 7 or 8 games now. So I think if you wanted to go and buy Cunha, I don't hate it at all. If I was going to go and get anyone cheaper than Cunha, I'd probably be looking at the likes of João Pedro, who's just looked great. There's a reason why we all bought him at one point, and there's a strong argument for me of whether I do want to buy João Pedro this week, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But Cunha, Bournemouth at home, Everton away, West Ham at home, Ipswich at home, and then Leicester away over the next 5. Great run of games, really, really classy player. If he can stay fit, he's just going to keep scoring points because that's what Cunha does. Yeah, I mean, just watch his just watch his 2 goals against Fulham, and you'll see the reason why people want to buy him. Really glad I bought him. Absolute monster. Think about bringing him in. His ownership is only 13.4%, so really, really low ownership. Moving on to Alexander Isak, 8.5 million forward from Newcastle, 20.5% owned. Like, it feels like I'm back to game week 1 when everyone owned Isak. He looks great. It looks like he's kind of back in form, fully fit, firing again. They play West Ham on Monday, so it'd be interesting to see how he does get on against West Ham. But he is playing Crystal Palace away. I don't think Palace are great defensively right now, so I think he could easily score in that game. Liverpool at home after that. Liverpool just conceded 2 goals to Southampton. We all know how good Newcastle are at home as well, so they could definitely get at Liverpool. So I'm more than happy playing him over the next 5, and like even after Liverpool with Brentford, Leicester and Ipswich, just a really nice run of games in there as well. Last but not least, we've got Chris Wood. And I'm in a really kind of tricky situation here. Do I keep Chris Wood or do I transfer him to João Pedro? And that's probably my biggest kind of transfer dilemma that I've got this week. I've got no kind of major fires in the team. I'm more than happy keeping Eze on the bench. He's going to be back probably the week after this, and then he's playing Ipswich, so I don't even mind keeping him for that. And the issue is, if Chris Wood doesn't start against Ipswich and we get any kind of inkling that he isn't going to start, he's then got Man City away, Man United away, Aston Villa at home, and then Brentford away. Like, it's not a great run of games. They've got a few tough games after that as well. And for 6.6 million, I think moving down to a João Pedro, I could save a bit of money there and then start to put money in other areas of my team, mainly trying to get the likes of Eze, maybe up to someone like a Saka. I'd be miles off in terms of price, but that will definitely be a starting point of taking Wood down to João Pedro. So that's the main transfer dilemma I've got. If you think I should do the move, leave a comment down below. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I really like it on paper, but we all know João Pedro does get reduced minutes from time to time. Something that I need to think about over the course of the week. And it might be the one that I do, because João Pedro is playing Southampton, and it's a great game. I think Brighton will win. I think they'll win comfortably as well. And if João Pedro gets involved, then happy days. That's exactly what you want. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with my forwards. Like, they've all got what FPL considers a green fixture, so they've got relatively easier fixtures. More than happy playing all of them. And if I roll the transfer and keep Chris Wood for Ipswich at home, I don't even mind doing something like that. Let's take a look at Captaincy for Game Week 13. So as always in these videos, I like to highlight two players that I think are the best captain for that particular game week. So for Game Week 13, I think the best 2 captains are Mo Salah and Cole Palmer. And I've got some predicted data up at the top there from FPL Review. So FPL Review predicts Salah's going to get 5.9 points as opposed to Palmer's 6.9. However, Fantasy Football Hub predicts Salah's going to get 7.4 points and Palmer's going to get 7.2. The fixture, I think Salah's got the more difficult game at home to Man City, but City aren't keeping a lot of clean sheets. Like, they've just got absolutely spanked by Spurs 4-0. So I think Salah could easily get a return in that game, and you just back kind of the king of FPL playing at home. He's just been in great form right now. Like it's hard to ignore, but Cole Palmer's playing Aston Villa at home as well, and I think that's a decent game for Palmer. Aston Villa they've been a bit hit and miss this season, and if they don't play up to the standard, then I think Chelsea could do a number on them, and Cole Palmer could easily get involved. I think overall, I think the ownership might dictate that Salah's going to be the best captain, but I think Cole Palmer does have a very strong argument. However, Palmer doesn't have a great record against Aston Villa. Like, he's only played against them twice, no goals and no assist. I think he only played 20 minutes in one of the games, so kind of take it with a pinch of salt. Like, he's improved massively over the last 12 months, and he's just like he's a completely different beast than what he was 12 months ago. But as opposed to Mo Salah, who's played 14 games against Man City with 7 goals and 4 assists. However, Liverpool have only beat Man City 3 times in those 14 games. But he does have a decent record against Man City. I think for me, I'd probably captain Salah, but Cole Palmer is very, very close. It might be an ownership play where the majority are going to captain Salah, even though it is at home to Man City. I just think like Man City are all over the place, and it could be like another feather in the cap for Liverpool to keep Man City on this losing streak in the league. So for me, it's going to be Salah, but Cole Palmer is very, very close, and this might change over the course of the week. But right now, I'm going to stick with Salah, and I think Salah is the best captain for Game Week 13. Right, mates, that's it for today's video. So first of all, we went through a quick recap of my current progress in Game Week 12 and then swiftly moved on to my team selection for Game Week 13, looked at some transfer ideas, looked at my main captaincy shouts for Game Week 13, all kind of the usual jazz. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and leave a comment down below. Have a good day, peace and love.